special league donkey challenges, and I got a special guest here, Mr. Scott Serkland. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, Marshall. Hey, you cut out a little bit there, so hopefully the audio is okay. But I think I got the gist of everything.
Yeah, this stupid internet and stuff. Hopefully that won't happen too much. But yeah, Scott, who are you and where can people find you? I think people know, but let's just give them a reminder.
Scott Serkland, Serkworks Art Lab is kind of my moniker online, or just Serkworks, but it's basically Serkworks anywhere. On YouTube, I'm Serkworks. It's SERKWORKS. I've got, the website is Serkworks. All the social media handles are Serkworks. So, but yeah.
Awesome. I'm trying to shut down some things because I feel like my computer's lagging, and that's not. So we wanted to talk about art challenges today. But before we do that, I wanted to mention Scott has a really cool thing going on right now. You may have heard of his Comic Maker Starter Kit before. Well, he just released the something new, which is the kind of like the full, comic book kit. What is it called? The Comic Maker Kit, right?
Comic Maker Toolkit. Yeah.
Awesome. Comic Maker Toolkit. So, one thing that's awesome is if you want to go check that out, there is a link down in the description. And also there's a special coupon code to get an extra 10% off of the Comic Maker special Donkey Jaw Projects code there. So definitely check that out. It's trending. People are checking it out, and that's just really cool. I'm so happy for Scott. I know it's been a lot of work to put this thing together, right?
Yeah. So and it's also on sale on my site anyway, so that discount should be on top of the existing sale. So yeah, right now I think you're not going to find it cheaper right now anywhere else. It was cheaper before. I had an exclusive with this other site, and it was pretty cheap, and I tried to get enough people to get it there, but and it's gone up a little bit, but it's still, that's the best deal you're going to get it for. But basically what it is, it's basically like a toolkit, a digital toolkit for creating comics. It's got comic book fonts, it's got brushes, digital brush. It's all digital, but some stuff you can print out, like there's templates, like page templates, there's halftones, there's like guides for designing characters, there's word balloons, caption boxes, and pre-done sound effects, and there's fonts and all that kind of stuff. So I put a lot of work into it, but it's so far anyone that's got it, they've told me they're just loving it. They're loving the brushes and basically everything in it. So I'm super excited that it's like people are liking it. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way, if you've been known Scott at all, you know that he puts his 110% into everything. And, when it comes down to it, like even the free version is so amazing. If you sign up for his newsletter, you can get the free version. But I mean, if that is as amazing as it is, just imagine, this fully furbished out, toolkit. Definitely check that out. I think you guys will get a lot of value out of it, and you have a great chance to get probably the best price you're ever going to get on it. So definitely check that out. So let's talk about art challenges. There's a lot to talk about with this, but I think art challenges has been like a really awesome thing infused into the life of the artist who participates with things online. It's really cool. There's a lot of different versions of art challenges, and I know for me, it's changed my life. Like a lot when it comes to creativity and stuff, it has got me off my keister and making comics, making all kinds of different things. And, if it weren't for art challenges, I don't know, it's just a cool way to make that hard work you want to do, make it fun in such a way where you're actually productive and stuff. So, I don't know. There's been a lot of our challenges that have changed that have helped me out and stuff. But I know you've participated in a lot yourself. You want to talk about a little bit about some of the ones you participated in?
Yeah, so the ones that I've done, and also I guess I want to talk about. We can go into this later, but or maybe it doesn't need to really go into it too much. But there are so many art challenges out there, but I think there's a pretty big distinction between the ones that are actually help your productivity and the ones that are just silly for like clicks, like the one marker challenge, or it's things that aren't really a challenge, but they're good as far as getting people to click on your videos and stuff. So you see like the big YouTubers like Jazza, he'll do a lot of these silly ones and everything, and they obviously people love them, they click on them, but they're not really challenges, let's be honest. But the ones that are, I think, challenging are just things like ones that I've done, of course, Inktober, because anytime you have to put something out on a daily basis, that's it's an art project on a daily basis, that's pretty challenging to keep that schedule and everything. So I've done Inktober. I've also done March of Robots, which is similar, but you draw a robot. And then let's see, of course, the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge, and 30 minutes a day at least every day for 100 days straight, and then you have to then you put your progress online and everything. That's definitely a big challenge. I've seen a lot of people start and fail, and I've seen over the course I've seen a lot of people succeed. That's obviously the big one that I mean, it's not how we met. I mean, we knew each other before that, but yeah, prior to that, I guess I don't know if it's there are things that are like, there was the mini comics dump truck, which I guess it wasn't really presented as a challenge, but in a way it was, and that was a project that also Kevin Cross, who's did this thing and who started 100 Days of Making Comics, he started that, and it was, I think he did a couple. We got in on the tail end. I don't know if you did more than one of those.
I did the one that we both did where
Okay.
you started Young and the Dead, and then there was a couple that happily myself and Ryan Wheaton, we kind of took on the helm and we did the mini comic dump truck one more time, actually.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was through like a Facebook group and stuff. I'm sure I definitely let you know because you were definitely around, but you were probably busy. Yeah, I don't know, like, so we did that, and then but yeah, that was like a great start. I mean, I think we knew each other just through the art and story community for a little while, but once we did the mini comics dump truck, that was like, okay, now I'm more familiar with some of these artists and you as well. And then when 100 Days in Making Comics came around, I had definitely known you to a certain extent, but when I started to see your face on YouTube and you started to see my face, like that whole thing, it was like, now you feel like you're actually getting to know somebody. I mean, obviously it's different than actually being friends with somebody talking, but it's very similar. Like a lot of times I watch these YouTube videos and I feel like I'm friends with them, even though I may not even have any correspondence with them. It's weird.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so there was the mini comics dump truck, and that was basically where everyone created a mini comics. I think was there a number of pages, like 4 or 8 or whatever, or there was?
I don't think it mattered.
Okay.
You just had to make a mini comic and send it to
and then
a lot of people.
So everyone involved, once they finish with their mini comic, they just send it to everyone else, so everyone else gets these mini comics. So, but there was a time frame involved, so that was definitely, I would say that was a challenge. But then I mean, and some of these challenges can be really intimidating. There's one in particular that I've never done because it's just like, I don't know that I could pull that off, and that's the 24-hour comic challenge. Mm-hmm. And we just actually, so I do a show called The Art Casters with Joshua Kimball, and the last episode we did was on his channel, and we had David Chelsea, who he's like probably the most famous guy that does the 100 Days of Making Comics. Not 100, the 24-hour comic challenge. He's done it like, I don't know, he's probably done it like every year since maybe it started, and there's been a documentary on it, and he's definitely featured heavily. He's like the top guy. So, and I've had friends that have done it and everything that do it every year, and it sounds kind of cool, but it's just like, man, because I'm like here in Arizona, it's like just a little, when we started, it was a little after 5 a.m. So, and I was up past midnight. So,
Oh no.
and it's like, it's a little rough. So I don't know if I could do that 24-hour comic challenge. When I was younger, I might be able to, but then part of me is like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just need to do it once just to say I did it. So I think that's in October, which is also Inktober, and I've got so much stuff going on in October. It's like, it's not the best time for a challenge of any sort.
Well, I think that challenge, it is meant to be at a certain time, but at the same time, people do it at any time, I think.
Yeah.
And also, you can finish your comic in less than 24 hours.
So-
But I agree with you. Like, I don't ever want to be awake for 24 hours in my life if I can at all help it. I've done it maybe a couple times, and it's kind of, it's basically hell. But
Yeah. Well, the one you did, I'm sure when you start talking about challenges you've done, was the 1 hour comic challenge. That's really insane.
I know you got to do that one, man. That's a fun one. It's tense, but the thing that's cool about the 1 hour comic challenge is after an hour, it's done. You could get it done quick, so
Yeah.
the results might not be the best thing in the world, but you made a comic in 1 hour, which is pretty awesome. I mean, a lot of people actually fail it at least the first time. Some people don't. Some people did it the first time, but like me, I failed it, but I still made the comic. So, it actually took me like 3 hours, but it's like, cool, I have a comic, So, I mean, it's little and it's not the greatest art, but it's still fun. I can give it away for free and tell people about the challenge or something, So, so yeah, there's the 1 hour comic challenge. Which you can find on my channel. It'll probably be linked somewhere around here. I'll probably put it on the end cards. But also, once again, like Scott talked about, the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge. I mean, started by Kevin Cross. I've talked about this a million times, but if there's any challenge that's changed my life, it's that one. That's the one that caused me to create a habit of making comics every day, to the point where now this is the second year in a row where I'm doing the 365 Days of Making Comics challenge, which I just created for myself because I wanted to keep going. I didn't want to stop making comics. And so I've been doing that for 2 years, well, almost 2 years straight. And it's been nothing but awesome. I've created a few comics this year. That's not something I could say at this time of year on most years of my life. So that's pretty cool. And I don't know. It's really cool. I love all the different challenges. Like you were saying, there's the YouTube challenges, which are like, the 1 marker challenge and, the, draw with your toes challenge or something stupid, like I just said that so he would spit up his water. But, there's all these kind of crazy challenges and those, I know it's like, yeah, they're not really a challenge, but at the same time, I still think they have some really cool value. One thing as an artist, if you are somebody who wants to make a career out of this, not everybody does, or even if you want to just make a hobby and you like doing stuff online, it's just those kind of challenges are really cool because you can, it's just a way to get more attention and more eyes on your art. And as much as, the most, some artsy fartsy people might be like, oh, well, I don't do it for people looking at it, or I don't do it for the money. I mean, honestly, like it's nothing but human nature to make something and then want to share it. That's just as simple as it is. You can't help but want to share it. And if you have any desire like that at all, these little art challenges that aren't really challenges are fun ways to kind of get your stuff out there and just have fun with it. Like, why can't we just have fun with art, So I like those kind of challenges as well.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like I think even like the 1 or like the 2 marker challenge, I mean, there's definitely value in that because I mean, I'm somebody who does like to work in like sort of limited color palette and everything and trying to I've seen some people just do amazing stuff and like, wow, I can't believe they did that with just 2 colors and they picked the right color. So there's definitely value in it. I just don't know if, and I guess there is some sort of challenge. I guess just the name challenge compared to something that's really like, am I really going to be able to do this? Whereas I think if you set out to do like one drawing in 2 colors, chances are you're probably going to accomplish that goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that is there is I have done stuff like that, and it is and it also is a good way to get eyes and stuff on what you're doing too. So
absolutely. So let's see. So one thing, and this will be like a little preview to what we're going to talk about in the end, but there's a certain challenge, kind of like an internet challenge, that myself and Scott actually created, and we'll talk about that. But you guys, some of you guys may actually know about this challenge, but we'll get to that soon. So one thing I wanted to talk about that's really kind of fun and cool too is, I've been doing one of the videos. I did a video and then I've been adding to the playlist is the Level Up Sketchbook, and that's not exactly an internet challenge, but what it is I got this partially. I was already thinking of doing this, but I got the wording from Mike Emmerich, and basically it's actually, I have it right here. And there might be some stickers here that Scott's familiar with. Scott created these awesome zombie stickers. But this is my Level Up Sketchbook, and like I said, Mike Emmerich told me this thing. It's to practice the act of making comics, which I think is a really cool thing. And so I came up with a few different exercises for it, and it still is kind of a challenge. A lot of people are taking it on, like in the Discord. There's a Discord that I created. There will be links down in the description, but I don't have them right now. But and then I've been adding different videos to it, so there's like different exercises to practice the act of making comics. And this is the reason why I bring this up, is because I feel like a lot of times as artists, we kind of look to the internet and we look for inspiration. We'll go to Instagram, look for inspiration. We'll go to YouTube. We'll look up some of these art challenge videos. But one thing that's cool is you can use your own resources as well. There's no reason why you can't come up with your own challenges. And that's kind of one thing I found out through doing YouTube videos is, okay, I want to do some of this fun art stuff that other people are doing, but I want to do some unique ones that I kind of created and stuff. And so I'm always like creating these different little exercises and challenges. And so that's kind of what the Level Up Sketchbook is for, to, again, practice the act of making comics. But there's all these like little things that can help you get better at comics specifically, not just drawing. So there's that. And also, let's see, 3 years ago, and it's called She-Sember. So it's kind of like Inktober,
right.
But it's basically drawing a female character or anything within the realm of female during the month of December every day. And I put it really loose, so you don't even have to do it every day to be part of it. To me, if you've done it even once during the month, you've completed the challenge. It's more just a prompt to get people who aren't really great at drawing females to draw women, and that, for me, I made that challenge because I have a hard time drawing women. I want to draw them better. And some people actually have the opposite problems, so they kind of flipped it. And I even put it in the description, you could do he-sember if you want,
right.
So there's that. So, if you have a pain point, if you have an issue, like something have a hard time doing, create a challenge around it. Maybe think of 5 different ways to make a challenge to kind of do better at whatever it is you're having a hard time at, and then pick one, and there's no reason why you can't figure some of those things out,
Yeah, I love you always come up with like the greatest ideas, either for character names or these challenges, or I think that's almost key to creating challenges. You have sort of a clever name that you can, a lot of times, that you could tie to a month. And unfortunately, there's only 12 months in a year, so some of those are probably overlapping, but
yeah,
that's, I think, when well, when we get to talking about the thing we're going to talk about, that it's not necessarily a monthly challenge. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like one restriction, and it's fun to come up with these things. I mean, the thing is I could come up with a challenge for myself and be like, okay, I want to draw women better. So for this month, I'm going to just draw women, in my sketchbook. Or I could come up with a fun, clever name and share it with other people because I know other people have a hard time doing it. So, I mean, the thing is like, it's like that spoonful of sugar type of thing. That's how I approach like all my YouTube videos and everything I try to do is I try to make it palatable for the common person, So I always try to come up with some kind of clever thing. Like the Level Up Sketchbook is actually a good thing because at first I was just going to call this like comic book sketchbook or comic making sketchbook, and I was like, that's cool. Like I even was starting to make the video and I was typing that in and I'm like, you know what? I need to make something a little bit more clever, something that people will be able to kind of hold on to and be like, oh, cool, this is my Level Up sketchbook. So I came up with Level Up, and it's simple. It's kind of general. It's not even comic book specific, but it still works. And I think people have been interested in doing it because of that. So, it's just kind of how you present things. I try my best,
Yeah. There's another when I was talking about the 24-hour comic challenge and challenges that are pretty intimidating. Another one like that is that sketchbook slam. I think Holly Brown did it a while back where, she had like this huge, thick sketchbook that she filled in a month. It's like, I don't know if I could do that.
See, that's the difference. Like there's like the fake challenges that you can just like anybody could do, and then Holly Brown goes and drops like a freaking encyclopedia and says, I'm going to fill this up in a month. Like what? That's for advanced, people. I wish I drew that much. I wish so much that I drew that much, but no. And she was doing other projects while she was doing that. So it's like, what? Oh man. But yeah, I don't know. I just really enjoy it. And there's one thing too, I've talked about before in podcasts and stuff is, if you ask anybody, how could I get better at art? Like a lot of artists, that'll be like one of the first things. They'll ask two questions. What pen do you use? And how can I get better at art? And the answer, I feel bad because like the answer from every artist is almost always practice.
Yeah.
It's like practice. It's true. You can't get around it. It's practice. But I like to change that practice to the word play. Again, making it more palatable. If you have a hard time drawing hands, and you want to draw comics, draw a mini comic with, that involves a lot of hand gestures and stuff. That's a fun way to do it. And then at the end, you have a cool comic. There's different ways to make it more palatable for yourself to have fun with it and learn at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of it is just sort of mind tricks that you can do to kind of put yourself in the right frame of mind. Like I really like what Scott and Dave from I'd Rather Be Drawing did with that, where they would basically say that their actual job, the one that supports them, that's their side hustle, whereas as the comic stuff, that's their day job. So I just flipping that around kind of gives it a different feeling and everything. So I that's always helpful too, because it's a lot of times it's like all of these, the things that hold you back and that stop you from beginning or finishing, it's all psychological. And if you can get yourself in the right frame of mind, right headspace, then you can kind of hopefully overcome that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the good point. It's definitely kind of tricking yourself into doing the work. And when it comes down to it, the real thing is just work, do the work, practice, take action every day. But again, you gotta find ways to kind of trick yourself into getting into that. See, I mean, even with all that, I still have trouble. Like I've been really kind of into this TikTok app lately for the last, 5 days or so.
Yeah, you have to tell me what that is because I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's basically it started as an app. It was called Musically, and then it was. I don't really know exactly. I think it was basically a music app, but you could
I know
like.
my daughter was on it and everything, and her friends. It was kind of skewed a little young for me,
Yeah.
but yeah, I didn't know that became something else.
Yeah. So it was basically, I think it was mostly an app where you could like do lip syncs to your favorite music or something, which I think is fun. But you know, it's interesting because it is definitely still skewed pretty young a lot of times. Not everybody on it is young, but there's a lot of youngsters. Um, but at the same time, it's actually very appropriate to this conversation. It's a fun thing and it's a creative thing. So I'm having a blast on it. I mean, I've only put a few posts. It kind of takes some thought sometimes to like put up a good post because you have to be a little bit clever with it. But there's all kinds of different things you can do, and there's a lot of artists on there doing art challenges, and it's a fun way to display your art. I definitely recommend it for artists because art is visual. It's like YouTube. YouTube is perfect for artists because it's such a visual medium. So I don't know. I definitely would recommend people check that out. You can find me there at Marsh Comics, and actually that's now my Instagram and Twitter as well because it's easier than Marshall_DJP. So now I'm Marsh Comics, and it also goes with Marsh Makes Comics for YouTube. So it works. But yeah, I don't know.
You said it was called Timely. Is that what
It's called TikTok.
TikTok. Okay, sorry.
It's with K's at the end instead of CKs.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It takes some time. I'm like addicted to it though, because it's only like 15 to 60-second videos, and it's kind of like stories, and there's a lot of like really funny, stupid, funny stuff on there. People do crazy stuff on there, but definitely worth it for artists, like I said, because it's very visual. Salazar Art Nation says those whippersnappers. Love that word. Let's see. Acid Lace says I should do a painting challenge like that. My sister says I have to paint, but I hate doing it. Yeah, I mean, painting is tough. I love color. I love painting, but it's like you have to have all these materials and keep your desk clean at the same time. It's crazy. Um, so yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people in the chat, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out. So thanks for hanging out with us. So let's see. We have I guess we're kind of announcing again because we've already done this.
Yeah, and I've already mentioned it on my channel. I don't know if you have too, but yeah.
I was going good for a couple weeks there, and I even had a week where that's my ultimate goal to actually do that. But I have been so burnt out with work. I've been working overtime every single day lately because our company was bought out and stuff. So we're making this whole switch, and nobody knows which side is up and stuff. So it's been crazy. And the last video I think I did was like literally a week ago, which is frustrating to me, but there'll be more coming out. Trust me. And I didn't get to say anything about the challenge yet. So, but if you haven't heard, Scott and I, a couple of years ago, I think, started this challenge called Take Me to Your Leader Tuesdays, which I think is really fun. And basically it's really simple. Just draw an alien on a Tuesday and post it on YouTube or on your social media or whatever, and hashtag it Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday. It's the longest hashtag I think in existence, and
right. or the initials,
or you could do the initials. So which is not the longest, but probably the most confusing because it's like, what the heck is that? But so we're like hitting on all cylinders here with this one.
Yeah,
with the hashtags.
you got the one that's easy that rolls off the tongue that people can remember, but they just have to type longer, or the one that you could like. Okay, because sometimes with the initials, I was leaving off one of the letters, and I was like, "Oh no, I forget." Yeah, so yeah.
So yeah, with this challenge, and I put if you want to know kind of like the guidelines and stuff, I actually actually, Scott used to have it on his website, kind of a page dedicated to the challenge. But I finally took some time and did that as well on my website. So if you go to donkeyjawprojects.com and click the art challenges link and then click on Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday, you can find the guidelines. And I was going to share it, but for some reason it didn't want to share, so that's all right. I don't want to mess up it's already been lagging in this video anyways.
I might be able to share it. It's
Go to art
projects
challenges.
and then art challenges. Okay.
And then it should be a drop down there.
Let me see if I can screen share here. Oh, where'd it go? So you might have to click on it, or can I click?
Oh, that's right. I have to click on it. Here we go.
Okay, so there you go. So yeah, and you guys can take that logo and use it in your own projects and everything too.
Actually, go to the drop down. Like click on art challenges.
Okay.
And then click on Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday. Right, cool. I actually didn't link that page yet. I meant to do that.
Okay. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. So we got all the instructions. Oh, you got videos up here too. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
And there's a playlist too. And people, if you do a YouTube video with your Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday, let us know, and I will put that into the playlist, the official Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday playlist, which is also linked there on that page. And you can see some people did do it. Scott and I did the challenge, like I said, a couple of years ago, and we did a month's worth. We did 4 weeks, and I think I continued for a couple more weeks after that. And some other people did it as well. So in that playlist, you'll be able to see all the stuff we did previously. But once again, this Tuesday, starting this Tuesday, we are going to do another 3 to 4 weeks. I don't know if we're definitely doing 4 weeks yet, but but we're going to start it up again. And you can do it any Tuesday throughout the year, but we're going to at least kind of jump start it again, and then we may or may not continue past that. I know Scott's got Inktober coming up, so he's going to probably be doing that, but I might continue because I'm not going to do Inktober. So
I haven't decided whether I'm going to do it or not. I was going to do it, and I'll have to see when I get to it, but I might do it. But yeah, I might continue on too. It just depends, because I really need to start putting out more content on my YouTube channel. So it's always good to have like a daily thing. Like everyone's expecting this to come out on a Tuesday. So who knows? I might continue on with it and everything. So
yeah, and I love this challenge because it's just fun. Like it's weird. Like I have a hard time designing humans, like when I have human characters in my comics. But if you give me like an alien or a monster, I could do that all day. Like
yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, it's like you don't have to think so much about anatomy and everything. Oh, it's an alien. That's supposed to his arms are supposed to be way longer than they should be. So
yeah. So it's really fun. And again, you don't even have to do like an alien you create necessarily. You can actually do you could do like E.T. or something, or an alien from Star Wars, or you could do like Alf or something. I don't know if anybody is old enough to know who Alf is here. I think Mario might be, but
Alf seems like he's due for a comeback.
Yeah. He's one of those weird things in history that people may or may not know, but it's pretty funny. So you can do that. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I like to design these aliens and stuff, but also like I have, you can kind of repurpose these too. Like it's kind of like Inktober. Some people have made like art books of Inktober and stuff like that. And I know that Scott was talking about possibly doing an art book with what was it, aliens?
So like when I introduce my videos, I always say that I do robots, aliens, zombies, and other imminent threats to humanity. So eventually I want to put an art book that is basically that. You know, there'll be a section on aliens and a section of zombies and robots and all that kind of stuff. I haven't totally committed to that yet. I mean, I think for me, I want to, if I can get a point where I've got an audience that's big enough where I know that if I just put stuff out there, they'll just buy it because they like what I'm doing. Then I'll definitely do that. I'm definitely not a Jake Parker where I can just like, oh yeah, I got this sketchbook that I printed and you know, I mean, I'm not saying I can't sell some, but I mean, if I'm going to put, you know, because I would want this to be a really nice book, you know, so,
Yeah.
but, you know, so that's a goal that's a little further down when I know there's more of a market for it. But
When you do these pieces, do you scan in the inks before you color it ever?
So for like Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday or like so
yeah, that or any of the other stuff you do.
Yeah, I've kind of used a few different processes. I'm trying to avoid scanning now because it's like my scanner situation is kind of crazy. Like I've got this, I have like an oversized scanner that can scan 11 by 17, but the thing is just huge to the point where there's no place on my desk. So I've got it. It's like inside under my desk, and it's like in a corner where I have to go and get under my desk and reach over and get in there and scan it. So it's kind of a pain. So, so I try to avoid doing that now if I can. But I've been doing I've been doing a lot of my at least my sketching digitally. So so I'll do the sketch digitally, and then typically I'll print that out in like a blue line, and then I'll ink traditionally over that, and then I'll you know, if it's something I'm going to color, then I'll color it. Lately, like the last live stream I did the whole thing digital because I started playing around with the like some of the brushes in Clip Studio, and I've created like back to that comic maker toolkit. I mean, I've got Clip Studio brushes in there as well, so I've been playing around with those, and I'm getting a little better at using them. So. So yeah, so I mean, I don't know if I'll ever get to the point where everything I do is digital, but I'm trying to kind of do a little bit of each. But I still love using like, you know, actual brushes and brush pens and markers and stuff like that. So anyway, like with these that I'm doing, Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday. Well, these I'm doing. Usually I work in Clip Studio Paint, like to do a lot of the sketches I've been doing. This time for Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday, I'm actually doing the sketches on the iPad in Autodesk Sketchbook, and then I, you know, end up printing those out and everything. So a little different, you know, but I'm just trying to figure out different things because, like right now, I'm like in the situation where my son's in college and I have to like drive him because he doesn't have his license yet. And so I have to go there, and he's got like one class. Some days he has one class, and it doesn't make sense to drive there and to drive back and then drive back again. So I just kind of sit and wait. So I go to Starbucks, and I'm like, well, I need to be productive. So so I got the iPad, and that's when I'm doing some of these sketching. So that's another reason why I might continue to do these challenges, because I'm trying to find you know, a productive way to use that time where I'm just sitting waiting, you know. So yeah, I'll probably continue to do that stuff. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I was asking that because I was just thinking, like you were talking about, you're not sure if you'll get to the art book or not, but you know, I was thinking if you had the scans of the inks, or you know, like you do it digitally or whatever, like that would be like so cool to have like a Scott Serkland as seen on YouTube, you know, coloring book of like aliens and monsters, and that would be like super. I think people would dig that.
Yeah, well, there is one thing that I'll probably have to talk with you later offline, because I know you've been doing Patreon for a while, and I do want to start a Patreon soon. I mean, I've got one, but I just kind of reserved it before like the price changes went into effect.
Yeah.
But so there's really no content on there, but I do have content, and I know if I want to do it, I want to definitely put content out there. But that's the kind of stuff that I would like to, you know, create and give to patrons, are like, you know, either like a digital download for, like you said, like either coloring book or something, you know, something like that you know, that I can put together and give to everyone. So
yeah. Yeah, that sounds cool. So I guess I'm curious. Do you have any tips on creating aliens for this Take Me to Your Leader Tuesday challenge?
Oh, that's a good question. It's like, yeah, man, if you've kind of put me on the spot. Tips. I mean, one tip. There's a art challenge that I really like. Um, Robert Johnson. He kind of joined in last time around. We should probably reach out to him and let him know we're doing it again in case.
I did. I already told him.
Okay. Okay. So he did this weird thing where he just found these objects like one was like a bar of soap and a lemon and some other things. And he took those shapes and he created a monster out of them. He says, "Oh, the body is the shape of the bar of soap, and then the head's the lemon." And so he would take these things and make the shape, and then he would kind of build a monster off of that, or an alien off of that. I thought that was really cool. The other thing is just like, there's this guy I follow on Instagram. It's Beast Wreck. Do you happen to follow him?
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
He does this thing where it's just a weird shape, like and then he says that here, this is a challenge. This shape, do whatever you can, but it has to be your drawing has to be in the confines of the shape. And everyone looks at that shape differently, and sometimes like they'll flip it around, and sometimes the one part of the shape people might use for the head, where the other part they might use for the body. But that's another thing, just playing around with like shapes or weird things like that. Oh, we got the dogs coming up here, so that's gonna. I mean, those are a couple tips that I can give you.
Yeah. You could draw your dogs and then put little antenna on them and stuff too.
Yeah. I don't know. What about you, Marshall? You got any ideas on that?
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea that you were saying with Robert Johnston with like taking the objects and stuff. You could also do that, with just go into Google Images or something, and you can what do they call it, like photo bashing or whatever. You can take all these pictures and kind of put them all together and see if you can make something out of it. I don't know. To me, I like the idea of like remixing and stuff. So maybe take a couple of your favorite characters from, TV shows, movies, wherever, and then just kind of be like, okay, well, what if this person was an alien? Or what if I take a couple of these characters and smash them together and then add like some alien aspects to it? That might be kind of a cool thing. Or, I don't know. There's a million different ways. I like to, personally, I'm going to probably talk about this in some of my videos, but I like to start, like, especially because for me, like, I'm creating these characters, but they're also, a lot of them I'm planning to use in like in comics, because I have a bunch of sci-fi type of comics that I'm doing, and they all need like background characters and stuff. So there's that, but there's also some main characters too that are aliens. So, I'll be in some of these, I'll be actually character designing before your eyes, with these videos. And, I usually like to start with words, like what is kind of the personality? Where is this character from? Like, what are some of the physical attributes and stuff? And I'll just write down kind of almost like a little brainstorm of words. I'll use that first. And then I'll start with like, gestures of what that character might look like or whatever, like with that kind of a personality and stuff. And then I'll just kind of build from there. So that's kind of how I approach it when I'm doing like character design and stuff. But yeah, there's 1,000,001 different ways to do this kind of thing. I'll definitely be curious to see what some of the people who are participating, how they approach it, for sure.
Yeah. The other thing I've been doing is I just try to think of like different, and eventually I don't know if I run out, but so I do one alien that's like a sort of like a lizard type alien. Then I figure, well, now I'll do one that's more like sort of furry, like a mammal, and then one that's like an insect, or one, just based on, different, just to kind of switch it up to make sure they kind of look differently. But I've noticed that a lot of them, started to look kind of humanoid. They've got arms and legs, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll do something totally different that or more tentacles and things like that. So yeah, I just look in nature. I mean, it's like, even like, especially like, it's a lot like lot of the stuff you see under the sea. I mean, there's bizarre creatures and what those might look like on land or whatever. I mean, there's tons of inspiration for like creature design and stuff like that. So yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, I think that's totally. I definitely get inspiration from animals as well, and a lot of times, sometimes I'll create like shapes and stuff, and then I'll like add the texture of like an alligator or something on top of it or something. So there's a lot of different approaches. So I think that's that part of it. So if anybody wants to participate, once again, go to that link in the description and check out the guidelines. And we'd love to please tag us, let us know, what you're doing, and we'd love to kind of share it, especially if it's like a YouTube video and stuff. And so one thing I just wanted to say is, once again, a lot of you guys like to make comics who watch my stuff, and once again, if you haven't, definitely go over to Scott's, his link down in the description for the Comic Maker Toolkit, because that is, once again, it's like you're not going to always be able to have this opportunity to get it at such a low price, and there's just so much cool stuff there. There's fonts, there's brushes, there's different kind of templates. One thing that I thought was cool in the free pack that you did was there's like these profile of like a woman and like a man, like just like a basic like drawing of them, and then you can kind of character design over that. That would actually be really helpful in the alien design if you want to do a more humanoid type of design, for sure. So definitely, he's got stuff like that in this toolkit, so definitely go over there, check that out, and use the Donkey Jaw Projects discount code to do it. So other than that, man, Scott, this was great. Where can people find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Serkworks on YouTube, Serkworks. I'm Serkworks. That's my website. That's my Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Just search Serkworks, and that's where you will find me. And this Tuesday, on both of our channels, we should have our videos up. So,
Yep.
we definitely want people to participate. If you want to start drawing aliens on a Tuesday, and there's no start time or particular. You can start anytime you want, any Tuesday, and you can go for as long as you want or as little as you want. But yeah, just let us know, and if you let me know, if you hashtag it and everything, hopefully we can get. If you're doing videos, you don't have to do videos. I mean, you can just post them on Instagram or whatever, or Facebook. But if you do videos, let us know, and hopefully we'll be able to put link to those in our playlists.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see what Scott's created, because that was, I think, one of the fun things is like every Tuesday we upload our videos and get to see like this cool new alien and stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Once again, you know where to find me, DonkeyJawProjects.com, and Marsh Comics on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, that's the place. And yeah, that's about it, guys and gals. Thank you for hanging out with us, everybody in the chat and everybody watching on the replay. You guys all rock, and we will talk to you another time. All right. Later.